essential question. How would you generate a plan to order 3 objects by length? We've been talking about we're going to start talking about different lengths of things. So, make a plan to check that you correctly ordered these 3 objects. So, your objective. I can use objects and non-standard measurement to measure length. So, global awareness. The distance from Greenville, North Carolina to Brazil is 3,823 miles. Whoa. The distance from Greenville, North Carolina to Mexico is only 1,714 miles, which is still pretty long. Tell an adult or a brother or sister at home which trip is the longest, and then tell them how you know. Look at those distances down there. Tell them which trip you think would be the longest. If you said the trip to Brazil, you are exactly right, because that is 3,823 miles away. What? Our vocabulary words, we have tally mark, data, longest, shortest, length, tally chart, and picture graph. We are going to listen to our video first and then do our review.
Science is a blast with Generation Genius. A resource of science videos and lessons for grades 8 to 8. It inspired.
Basic measurement. How tall? How heavy? How much? The questions are related to measurement. Measurement is used to learn the length, weight, or capacity of something. You use measurement every day. When you say things like, this giraffe is tall. I can't carry this, it's too heavy. Could you pour more milk into my cup? You could say, the length or height of the giraffe is tall. I can't carry this, the weight is too heavy. There is capacity in my glass. Pour milk into it. Length is how tall, wide, or long something is. Other words related to length include width, height, and distance. Length is measured in inches, feet, yards, or miles. Weight is how heavy something is. Other words used for weight include mass, bulk, or heaviness. Weight is measured in ounces, pounds, or tons. Capacity is the amount something can hold or contain. The substance in a container can be liquids or solids. Other words used for capacity include volume, amount, and size. Capacity is measured in ounces, cups, pints, quarts, or gallons. Everything can be measured. The paper you are reading can be measured in inches. The ink in a pen can be measured in ounces. And the chair you are sitting in can be weighed using pounds.
So that was just a little bit of an introduction to measurement and different words that we use when we measure things, whether it be by length or by weight or by height. So, number 1, which caterpillar is the longest? You're going to find the one that you think looks the longest. They all start at the same spot. Which one looks the longest? I think it's letter B. Number 2, count the tens and ones and decide which number is shown. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43. And the last one, use addition to solve the subtraction problem. Draw a picture to show your thinking. So it says 20 plus blank equals 60. But over here it says 60 minus 20 equals blank. So I see 20 plus blank equals 60. So 60 minus 20 equals 10, 20, 30, 40. So if 60 minus 20 equals 40, that must mean 20 plus 40 equals 60. So I've got 60 minus 20 equals 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Awesome. So these say use cubes to measure the length of the items. These cubes you can manipulate. If I change it to the right thing, you can manipulate these cubes to put them underneath so that you can measure the length of each item. When you measure an item using cubes or pieces of paper, you need to make sure that the items are touching. If they're not touching, you won't get an accurate measurement. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, well, I can look at that and I can say, well, if I had one more, I would know that that was 8 cubes long. So the amount of cubes and the sizes of the cubes are different so that you can measure each of the items that are shown. You are going to use those cubes, like down here on the smart board, you are going to slide them up so that you can measure exactly how many cubes the smart board might be. You are going to do the same thing on this one. Whoa, that is a big crayon. You're going to use the cubes down below to measure the length of that crayon. You can start at either end, whether you want to start at this side or whether you want to start at that side, it doesn't matter, as long as your cubes are touching. Now with this one, it says measure the length and height of the calculator, then tell how much taller the calculator is than it is long. So the length is what goes from side to side. So the length of this calculator would be a little bit over 2 cubes long. A little bit over 2 cubes. So we're going to say the length is 2 cubes long. Then we need to figure out the height. That is what goes up and down. The height is how tall something is. So I'm going to measure 1, 2, oh, decided when it's going back to its spot, 2, 3, and, oh, and 4. So the height is 4 cubes tall. So then it says the height is blank more cubes than the length. So for this, I know that the height is 4 cubes and the length is 2 cubes. So all I have to do is decide what is 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 equals 2. Now with this one, you're going to measure the length using the cubes, and then it says, can the eraser fit in a box that is 10 cubes long? You won't be able to decide yes or no until you have measured using your cubes. This one says, circle the car that is longer. So I'm going to look at those cubes that are underneath. I see that this one is 1, 2 cubes long. So car, I'm going to give this car A. And this one's going to be car B, so then I'm going to look. This is 1, 2, 3 cubes long. So how do I know which one is longer? I look at the amount of cubes that it takes up, and I circle the one that has more cubes. So how do you know? Well, I know that B is longer than A because B is 3 cubes long, and A is only 2 cubes long. So you're going to have some problems very similar to what you have seen on the slides. Your activity for today is to complete pages 679 to 682. After you've completed them, make sure you upload the picture of the slides to their